Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. Okay, a video I probably should have done years ago, I'm just doing now. Let's widen this view because we're going to need to. And now you can see more of the mess on my bench. And that being the reason why I haven't done this video, because I'm a busy person. Alright, we are looking at the Lockton Mortice lock, narrow style mortise lock, used on aluminium framed glass doors. Can be used in a few different applications, but let's just go with a glass door, aluminium frame, very narrow sort of section. Very common on foyer doors, office doors, commercial doors, things like that. Now this particular kit I'm using for this example I think has rounded handles. I'll show you what the difference is. So when you get the kit, you're getting an outer, an inner, and a lock, and a cylinder. So pretty much everything you need. Comes in this nice cardboard box, and the cardboard box is biodegradable. If you don't believe me, put some dirt in it, put it in your front yard, and come back to it in a couple of years. It will no longer be there. True story. Alright, let's look at the inside handle. Now, these handles do come in different configurations. It can come with a turn-snib, without a turn-snib. It can come just a blank plate. It can come with a handle, without a handle. It can also come with a cylinder hole on the inside. It can come rounded, or it can come squared. It's internal or external. This is internal, it's got the screw holes on the inside. This is external, it screws on from the back. So from the outside you don't see any screw holes. So nice looking. Okay, springed. Now we also do sell a plate as well, where if you remove this spring and remove the circlip, you can mount it in there and then put the screw back in, making this outside handle fixed. So when a burglar tries to force this handle, they'll actually just break the actual handle, not the inside handle and not the lock. So the cheapest scenario. So that's the rounded, external, narrow style 3582 handle. Let's pop that back in there because these are all brand new and I need these for a job. If I can get it back in there, that being the hardest thing. Unboxing is easy, reboxing, much harder. Alright, fit back in there nicely. Okay, now one more thing to note, that internal turn snip where you turn it with your fingers will need to be cut to size. It comes long, you do need to cut it. Alright, that can go back in the box. Alright, now we have the lock itself, and I will show you the other handle as well. So it comes with your faceplate, stainless steel faceplate, and it comes with your 4 screws, 2 screws for the faceplate, and it also comes with your striker plate, stainless steel striker plate with the plastic on top, protective plastic. Comes with a striker plate latch keeper. Alright, so that fits behind this bit, and that's what those screws are for. Okay, so that you got a couple of screws there with the blue Loctite on them. One goes there, one goes there, and that's your striker plate. Now this box here is good if you're fitting it into an aluminium door frame. What that means is that you would cut out this shape here, you would mount this box inside the aluminium, and then you would do your top and bottom hole, and all you would see is that. Then you put your striker plate over the top. So from the outside, all you would see is your striker plate, and this would be mounted on the inside of the aluminium. And that just basically means you don't see all the rubbish on the inside when you look into the striker plate. It makes it a nice, neater job to install that. And that comes with, that's got the same threaded screws, so you got 4 screws for that. And that's just a bent piece of metal. That's a stainless steel, but makes everything look good. 4 screws there. Now that's your insert cam. This goes into the lock. Remember that part that I just showed you that needed to be cut down to operate the lock, to lock and unlock it? That is what this connects to. This goes into this hole here. Where are we? All this is on the instructions, so don't worry. Okay, so you see this little leg right here? I'm going to put that in the valley of the locking bar, like so. If I can, get it in there. That should just go in there. Once it's in there, I'll be able to put my handle through the door and lock and unlock the actual lock itself. Sorry, I'll put my handle in the door, then I would mark it, then I would cut it so that the piece of metal coming off the handle going through this turn adapter doesn't protrude past it. So that goes in there like that. You have your retaining pin that goes in to hold it. Let me show you the retaining pin, because they're a pretty big function. Here's one of your retaining pins here. So that goes through the side edge of the door here, and now that is in the lock like itself. The cylinder that comes with, I'll show you that as well, it comes set up with a cam. So these cams do different things. This is what we call an X cam. It pulls the latch back only. Okay, pulls the latch back like that. The other couple here, we have one that'll do the same as this, lock and unlock the handles. We have bunny ears you don't need, and we have one, there's one here that is bent on a 45-degree angle. You put that on the back of this cylinder here, that then goes inside here. When you use that cam with this turn snib, so that goes in here and moves this up and down. Where are we? Up, down, like so. It moves it, sits here and goes backwards, forwards. That's the one, the W cam, which goes in there like that. It comes off the back of the cylinder and protrudes. So that would be used in a scenario where you want to lock and unlock your handles. So, for example, let's say you're setting this up for a unit. And a unit, you would want a turn snib on the inside, so you could lock and unlock it, right? And then on the outside, you'd want to be able to lock and unlock it. So you could use that W cam, which has the little right angle on it, put that on the back of the cylinder, put that in, put your retaining pin in, and you're good to go. If you want it to always be locked, you would use this cam here. You don't need to do much. You just simply drop that in, put your pin in the side, and that would, from the outside, just pull the latch back. Okay. So that's another scenario too. So all the instructions on how to set it up, because there's multiple different configurations, it's all there. Another factor here, which might sound technical but it's not, is using the locking bar. So locking bar must be up unlocked to change, and it is currently, because I can see this little key right here, this little arrow thing, and it tells you to turn it around. You can hear that click. Okay, that's how you change it. Now, why is that important? Because it allows you to change how the handles are, if you want them both locked, single locked, and one side or this side. So in this position straight down, it's both locked. From the position to the 1 o'clock, which is where it's at now, it's this side is locked, meaning that the handle on this side would be locked. If you turn it around and you're down at like the 7 o'clock position, means the handle on the other side is locked. That's important if you're putting this on a commercial premises somewhere where inside is always free. If you're not sure if you need inside free at all times, just look up. If you see a green sign with a little man that says exit, it's always free from the inside. So it's the outside that basically you're locking and unlocking all the time. You can also set that up with the turn snib on the inside. So if you lock it, it'll lock the outside handle and keep the inside handle free at all times. So you can set it up either which way. It's a commercial grade lock. So that's the only real tricky thing about it. When you take your lock out of the door, you might notice the shape of the rectangle. So what I like to do is take the cylinder out, put my finger through the actual lock itself. You don't want to drop it into the door, and then lift it all the way up, and you'll see this slant on the side. You move it out of the rectangle, and because it's cut, it allows you to slide it out. So lift it up, slide it, and out it comes. Slide the new one in, pop it down. Then you've got a screw for the top, a screw for the bottom. You put your cylinders in, you put your turn snib adapter in, and all that sort of stuff, and your faceplate, and you're pretty much good to go. So that is the Lockton 3582. That's not what they call it. They call it a SBML23. SGSBML23. We sell these on our lock shop. Reason we use a lot of them is because the quality's there in the product. It's a really good product. The price is good. We're not paying an exploited, price that's needed more than it should be, for like some other brands. And they're reliable. They do everything they need to do, plus the parts are interchangeable with different brands. So if I was to come along with this carver handle here, I could mount that on the top and have no troubles. If I was to come along with a Lockwood one, I could do the same. So that's why we like them as locksmiths. In the kit you get 2 keys. This is your standard LW5 keys with a Lockwood key profile, 6-pin. If you order multiples, you can get them key-like, key to differ. We can also match the key with your order as well. But that's pretty much the whole lock. The instructions are there as well. Oh, one other thing that I see commonly done wrong all the time is this little part here. So this is what we call the spindle and spring. So this part here connects to the handle, like so. So when the handle is pulled down, it drives it. Let me demonstrate that. So like so. Oh, it's jumping out. So, all right, so as you're moving the handle in and out, you see how that's moving? That's going to operate this part of your lock here. This square drive right here. So that's going to allow you to lock. There we go. Now, what I see done wrongly all the time is that people put it in like this. They put the spindle in like this, and then they put the spring on top, and then they connect the spring to here. Now, spring's not going to drive that. That's just wrong, and it's not going to work. The spring is designed to push this spindle away from this handle and connect it into this part here. So it's pushing on this to connect the square drive of the lock and the handle. Okay, if you do it the other way around, you're just going to lock yourself out and cause you a lot of trouble. What you might also notice too on these spindles here, you'll see how it's got a cutout section here. That's done deliberately. So that somebody comes along and forces the lock and it's in the locked position. Hopefully, rather than break them internal mechanisms, it'll break this part here, which is like a sacrificial type part, not expensive, and hopefully save your handle, hopefully save your lock. In my experience, 5 out of 10 times it doesn't work. You'll wreck your lock and you'll wreck your handle. You know, maybe the vandals are just a bit stronger, I don't know. But that seems to be what I see. It just breaks. Breaks the lock, and you can tell when you've got a broken lock because everything looks good, but you feel the back of it's all puffed out. So, best thing to do is, if you want a solid handle on the outside, is to get the kit and then get the solid cam, which goes in this section here. You've got to remove the circlip. Goes in this section here. You remove the spring, you put it in, you put the circlip back on, meaning that that handle then would be rigid and you can't move it. So from the outside, for the burglars, they can't do anything, and if they do, the handle's just going to go limp. They're just going to break the handle. They're not going to be able to break the lock. Breaking the handle isn't too bad because the lock will still keep functioning in that sense. If it was a rigid handle and they break the handle, the lock will still function because it's not actually connected, and it's getting a strength to keep that handle rigid from the actual handle, not via the lock itself through this square drive, if that makes sense. Okay, that's about that. Another key feature about these ones here are these little tiny shims. I believe one side of these are sticky. You put them under there, it allows you to pack the lock back a little bit. Alright, gotta go. Thanks for watching.